Okey. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada semua hadirin yang hadir latihan pada hari ini. Okey, tanpa membuang masa, saya menjemput Profesor Madya Dr. Mariam binti Taib, pensyarah daripada Fakulti Sains dan Sekitaran Marin untuk memulakan latihan. Dipersilakan Doktor.
Terima kasih Cik Hadila. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi semua. Terima kasih kepada semua yang dapat join pada pagi ini. The title of my talk today is Introduction to Outcome-Based Education, OBE. And saya minta izin ya, since we have few fellow lecturers from, for our contract lecturers, foreign lecturers. So I was requested to give this talk in mostly English, yeah. So I will try my best to give this talk in English, but of course I will also campur-campur lah with bahasa Malaysia. So this is the team from OBE, pasukan OBE sebelum ini. Saya, Prof Amiza, Prof Maizura, Dr. Rusliza and also Dr. Nurasma. And for your information, khusus ini, this module FAST FAST 1113 adalah the first module in our teaching and learning courses. We have series of teaching and learning courses organized by PPBI. And this is actually the first, the what do you call it? The most basic course in teaching and learning. Okay. Then as we go along, I welcome any question. And since I'm sharing this slide, saya tak boleh nak nampak. I cannot see the chat. Hopefully, if you have any question along the way, you can just unmute and ask me the question. Sebab saya nak baca ikut chat tu, nanti saya maklumlah tak berapa nak pandai lagi. Alright. So I would like to thank everyone again for joining us today. This is something that I am very grateful of, sebab we are higher education teachers, and we know that higher education teaching or lecturing is one of very few professions in which people can work with no requirement to have any qualification or license to practice. Maksudnya, if we have PhD in, like myself, I have PhD in biochemistry. Some of you have PhD in maritime, some of you in plant science, for example. So we have a PhD, we have a master's degree, we join university and then we teach. There is no teaching qualification required. So we join the university, we come to the university, and suddenly we just teach. So this is why I would like to thank everyone for joining us, because this proves that we all have the effort to gain some knowledge, to gain some insight on how we should be teaching in higher education. And as I have mentioned before, macam saya dah sebut tadi, Introduction to OBE ini adalah kursus yang paling asas, Introduction to Obe, paling asas sekali. Dan yang saya ada ni, what I have the list here, sebenarnya ada 33 kursus, 33 altogether that I know of. Ya, sebab ini yang masa kami sama-sama bantu PPBI, we help PPBI in what do you call it, designing the teaching and learning courses. So I'm pretty sure sekarang ni dah more than 33 courses ya. In fact, petang ni, this afternoon at 2:30, we have another teaching and learning course by PPBI on experiential learning. Yeah, so there are more than 33 courses sebenarnya, dan saya punya ni introduction to OBE is the first one lah. Yeah. Okay, so about me, briefly about me, I joined KUSTEM or KUT at that time in 2001 as tutor. So this year marks the 20th year I am with UMT, Alhamdulillah. And since October 2019, 1.5 years ago, I am an ordinary lecturer, Alhamdulillah, at the Fakulti of Sains and Marine Environment, FSSM, and I teach biological science program. Yeah? So I am now a member of National Outcome-Based Learning Novel Committee at Department of Higher Education. This is supposed to be MOE, Ministry of Higher Education. I'm also heading the novel at UMT committee, just being set up by PPAK, and also head of the Teaching Excellence Plan Task Force, also set up by PPAK, and also I was previously the member of Obe Task Force when we began the ICGPA thing back in 2015. So Alhamdulillah, I have been with UMT for 20 years now and planning to retire in 4 to 5 years time, inshallah. So that's why it's very important for me, for us in the OBE team to have pelapis, to have some lecturers who are well versed in OBE, so that they can continue our effort in making sure lecturers in UMT know how to implement OBE in their teaching and learning. Okay, so the module outcomes for today, module hari ini, the outcome, I have 4. The first one, yang pertama, to explain the purpose of OBE. Why we need to do OBE? Kenapa yang kalau tak buat OBE ni macam satu kesalahan besar? Why is it a big kata, adalah kata offense, a big mistake, something like that kalau kita tak buat OBE ni. And then I will share with you the processes, the components involved in OBE. What are the 3 main processes in OBE? And then this is the core, the heart of OBE, constructive alignment. So I will share with you what is constructive alignment, and also I will touch a bit on students' learning time, SLT, and why is it important to determine SLT and have them addressed by proper weightage of our assessment. Yeah. Okay. So 4 contents. Why OBE? To answer the first outcome. What is OBE? To answer the second outcome, and then constructive alignment, and the last one is SLT. So why do we need to do OBE? Ada siapa-siapa boleh bagi tahu saya tak, share dengan saya? Anyone? Kalau yang chat saya boleh nampak lah dekat atas tu ya. Kalau boleh cakap, Alhamdulillah better. Ada tak yang rasa terbeban? Dia rasa macam burden with doing OBE. Kenapa tak macam dulu je ya? When I first joined UMT, I still remember I just gave the lectures and then I did the assessment test 1, test 2, lab report, kemudiannya quiz, lepas tu final exam. Yeah. Semuanya written assessment. I didn't bother about apa learning outcome ke apa ke, yeah, because at that time 2005 to 2009 we don't have OBE yet, so we were happily doing that, yeah. Tak ada nak fikir students should achieve this outcome or that outcome. So why since 2007 and actually in 2009 we need to do OBE dan sampaikan UMT masukkan ya, have it as part of our SKT LMPT. Okay, Dr. Eliani said besides the cognitive skill, it is important to enhance student skill in affective skill as well. Kenapa tu Dr. Yani? Why do we need to enhance student skill in affective domain as well? Pandai-pandai dia lah. Kita dulu pun tak ada pun pensyarah ajar kita macam mana nak komunikasi lah, macam mana nak critical thinking lah, buat sendiri je. Kan gitu ke? Pandai lah nak survive. Ke macam mana? Alamak, bagi can orang lain jawab. Okay, we'll touch about that later, Dr. Yani. But to indicate that how important to implement OBE in our teaching and learning, sampaikan UMT have it as one of the item in our SKT, LMPT, in our amanah pengajaran. And in K1A last time in pengajaran, we put there pelaksanaan OBE. If you teach the students according to the MyCA, then you are considered to implement OBE already. And either you use e-pembelajaran or not, our LMS, and then we were evaluated by the students in ESPP. Okay, so adakah kita buat ni sebab nanti students nak evaluate kita, ada soalan on pensyarah menghubung kaitkan learning outcome dengan teaching and learning activities and also assessment. Sebab ada soalan macam tu, so we do OBE. Sebab itu saja ke? Okay, tak apa. Nanti saya tanya lagi ya. Okay. So sebenarnya why OBE? Because you asked for it. Yeah. Or rather we asked for it, or rather because UMT asked for it. Macam mana yang dimaksudkan dengan we asked for it? Yeah. Because we made ourselves, okay, Cik Hadila, ada mesej dari Dr. Shimal, jawapan tak kepada everyone boleh set untuk chat to everyone so that everyone can see. Thank you. Okay, by doing OBE ni, kita sebenarnya make or get ourselves tie up dengan Akta 679. This is Akta Parlimen. So and in this Akta, it is clearly mentioned about learning outcome. So why we bother to to make ourselves tied up to this akta. Sebab akta ni something serious. Kalau kita tak buat, we can be fined. Kita boleh didenda. Tapi kita buat juga. Sebabnya we need this. We need the accreditation, akreditasi daripada MQA. So when we have our programs accredited by MQA, that means that our program has the quality assurance. So saya share dengan tuan-puan, saya stop sharing yang ni sekejap. Our academic programs in UMT, all academic programs in UMT are listed in Malaysian Qualification Register under MQA. So I just would like to show to you, saya share website dia. Okay, can you see what I'm sharing now? Boleh Okay, kalau kita Google MQR. Kita Google di MQR, this link will come out. Malaysian Qualifications Register by MQA. We click there. Kemudian pergi dekat sini, Public Government Institution. Click University. And then you find UMT here, number 15, UMT. And here, all the programs that have obtained the accreditation status by UMT are listed. So there are 111 programs in UMT listed as accredited by MQA. So kalau yang FA ni, FA means full accreditation. Kalau yang PA means partial accreditation. Baru saja offer program tersebut. So this is very important to have our programs listed in MQR because that is indicating the quality assurance of our program. Parents sekarang dah pandai dah rujuk, refer to this MQR to check whether programs yang anak-anak dia nak ambil ni, nak masuk universiti tertentu ni is accredited by MQA or not. Even my own sister in Kota Tinggi Johor, anak baru habis SPM nak ambil diploma. Biasalah kan lepas habis SPM nanti banyaklah college-college ataupun agent-agent college swasta send the letters to all SPM leavers, offer program itu, program ini, janjilah nak bagi beasiswa lah dan sebagainya kan. So my sister, my nephew got the letter dan dia interested nak ambil satu program diploma ni lah. So my sister asked me, program ni yang surat offer ni ada iktiraf atau tidak? So I went through this MQR list dan didapati memang tak ada. The program stated offered by this college is not listed yet. But then it is not accredited, and which also means we cannot assure the quality of the program. Sebab tak ada orang pantau. Nobody monitors the program. Nobody monitors the curriculum. Nobody monitors the teaching related activities. Nobody monitors the assessment. So there is no indicator.
Doktor mau nak minta doktor jauhkan sikit handset ke dengan doktor? Macam bunyi bising. Ada bunyi bising sikit.
Sebab saya pakai mic. Okey je lah. Saya masuk dalam teks. saya tak
Bunyi lagi lah.
Okay, sebab mic ke dah diam?
Saya cabut je. Okey.
Okey doktor.
Yang ni clear.
So saya buang je lah. Ini pun sebenarnya buat iklan je ni.
Oh,
Iklan. Promo.
Promo. Nampak macam ganas sikit kan Mol kan? Sebenarnya saya dengar je tapi saya cakap direct dengan apa laptop ni je ya. Okey. So okey lah. Ada apa-apa bising echo lagi?
okey doktor.
Okey dah ya. Okey.
Jelas. Okey.
Okay, so berbalik pada list ini, back to this MQR, Malaysian Qualification Register, it is a place where we know that certain programs are accredited or orang kata apa mendapat pengiktirafan daripada MQA. Yeah. Even majikan pun yang nak ambil students our graduates, they want to employ our graduates, majikan pun dah pandai tengok MQR ni. Ya? Nak tengok program ni accredited or not. Kalau tak macam ala budak ni graduated from a program that does not have any quality assurance. Ya? Sampai tahap macam tu. So that is why kita gagahkan juga diri, ya? UMT gagahkan juga diri to make sure all our programs are accredited by NQA. Yeah? So macam Dr. Iliani sebut tadi, this page is to where we get our surat beranak lah, our birth certificate. Yeah? So even start bila tarikhnya tu pun ada nak menunjukkan tahun dah berapa lama accreditation itu diperolehi. Okay? So that is the technical reason actually why we need to do OBE in UMT. Okay, saya balik semula kepada slide tadi. Okay, therefore, because we are accredited by MQA, we need to comply with MQF lah, Malaysian Qualification Framework. And to comply with this, we need to fill in the COPA document. And in COPA document, memang clearly stated that our teaching and learning must be outcome-based education. Yeah. So, sorry, please repeat important part of. Can you? Because the chat just pop up and I could not read it fast enough. Tadi Dr. siapa? Dr. Can you please repeat the question? Dr. Zainidin, what is the question?
Yeah, currently not questions, just can you repeat some important places in English? I cannot understand Malay not enough well.
Oh, okay then. Okay. I will try to. Okay. I understand. Okay.
Thank you.
So okay. Then thank you very much. Okay, so therefore, teaching and learning in higher education, including UMT, must comply with outcome-based education. Some there are questions asked to me. Is it okay if we don't do OBE? Okay, we can not do OBE, but then you propose to the university to get our program unaccredited, tarik balik, ask MQA to kata apa? Retrieve the acknowledgement, the accreditation, so we are not complied to do OBE. Kita boleh buat sesuka hati. We can do anything we like. Can, yeah. But once the program name is missing from the MQR, Malaysian Qualification Register, that means your program has no quality assurance. Okay, so we cannot just simply do not want to do OBE lah, because we already have the accreditation by MQA. Okay, so what is OBE? Dr. Mall, OBE apa Dr. Mall? Dr. Mall ni dah berapa kali, how many times already listen to OBE punya talk kan? Dr. Mall, Dr. Shimal.
Outcome-based education.
Very easy answer. What is outcome-based education? OBE. What is OBE? Outcome-based education.
Tu dah ada jawapan tu, process that focus on what is to be learned. Yeah.
Your answer is just like my student lah, Dr. Mall. Terbalik pusing itu je. Okay, so OBE is a process that focuses on what is to be learned. So the focus is on the students, not on us. Yeah. So it is an educational method that focuses on what students can actually learn. Yeah. Can actually do after they are taught. So itu sebelum ni, before this, we just teach. We just disseminate the knowledge, and then we test, and then sometimes we did not return the results of the assessments to the students. So students did not know how they perform, how they fare, and we did not know whether they have achieved the learning outcome or not. Yeah, but with OBE, we have to measure, we have to see whether students can actually do after they are taught. Yeah? So that is OBE. So the concept again, it is not what we want to teach, it's what the student should learn, or what the student should do. So before this, if you still remember our course info, the syllabus, ada objective kan, objective of the courses. Yeah? And then baru kita ada, and then we have the course learning outcome. So after I think the third template of syllabus from MQA, they scrapped of objective, because it is not necessary for us to tell the students what we want to give them. It is about what they are supposed to learn, what outcomes they are supposed to achieve. So no need to mention what are the objectives of the courses. Yeah. So it is about them and not about us. So if last time, this cartoon is very famous with OBE. Yeah, last time I taught Stripe how to whistle. Yeah, this guy in the middle told a friend. He taught the dog Stripe how to whistle, and then the friend said, I don't hear him whistling. Tak dengar pun dia bersiul, you know. And then this guy said, I taught him. I didn't say he learned it. So that's what we did last time. Yeah. Yes, we taught the students, but we didn't know they learn or not. Yeah. So it is the transformation from this to this. Yeah. We are teaching, but we have to ask ourselves, are they learning? Yeah. I am teaching, but are they learning? So in OBE, we have to ask this question: are they learning? Yeah. That's why we have to measure the learning outcomes assessment to see whether students have achieved the learning outcome or not. Yeah. Okay, so this is the logic of Obe, which I think many of you are already well versed with it. The logic is stunningly obvious. Ada three parts. Say what students to be able to do. Yeah, say what students to be able to do. 1. Teach them to do it. 2. And this is then. Then see if they can in fact do it. So we tell the students the learning outcome. We teach them how to do it in our teaching and learning activities. And then we see they can do it or not in our assessment. Yeah? So there are 3 logic of Obe, which is clearly depicted in our course info or syllabus. Yeah? The learning outcome, the statement of the learning outcome is up here, somewhere here, number 7. And then the teaching methods, tell them. This is tell them what to do, teach them how to do it, and then assess, see whether they can do it or not. So that is OBE, very simple. Yeah. So if you say CLO1, PLO7, PLO7 is lifelong learning. We must teach the students how to acquire lifelong learning skill. How to be resourceful, how to be very proactive in learning. Yeah? Become interested in learning, yeah? Become inspired to learn more. So our teaching methods must address this PLO. And then after we have taught them how to acquire this, then we have to measure, to assess, to see whether they have acquired the intended learning outcome or not. Yeah? Kalau CLO2, CLO number 2 is PLO6. PLO6 is ethics and professionalism. Yeah. So how in lectures and discussion you taught them or you teach them how to become ethical, how to become professional. Yeah. Macam mana? Can you do it in lecture? Can you do it in discussion? And how from all these 3 assessments, you can actually measure they have acquired ethics and professionalism skill. Yeah. PLO3. PLO4 is communication. This subject is scientific writing. So it is written communication. So how from the lecture, from the discussion, you teach the students to acquire written communication, and how you assess them whether they have acquired the intended learning outcome. Yeah. And we also have this. This is more. This is clearer. Our MyCA. Macam mana nak bawa lagi yang ni? Minta maaf ya. I'm sorry. My junior colleagues call me DBNU, dinosaur baru nak up. Yeah, dinosaur baru nak up, because we are the senior lecturers who are struggling to learn or to apply technology in our teaching. Yeah? So in our MyCA, this is clearer, the OBE part, the hasil pembelajaran program, PLO, program learning outcome, the CLO. This is where we mention what is it that we would like the student to achieve. Yeah. So this is tell them what to do, teach them how to do it, the teaching and learning activities, and then see whether in fact they can do it. Yeah, the assessment. And we have this SLT, student learning time, to make sure that the percentage here, for example, we have test 1, 10%. Yeah, 10% here. How many hours was spent that correspond to 10%? Yeah, if you give 20%, that means the student learning time here must be higher than this one. Let's say this one is 10 hours of SLT. This one should be 20 hours. The more time students spend on a particular course content, the higher percentage or weightage of assessment should be given to the students. Yeah? It is what we call fairness. Yeah? Dan ini ada pula yang ngajar topik tu, I found quite a few when we check the syllabus for semakan curriculum. They give 10% for quiz, but only one topic. So that is not really the correct way to do, because 10% for only one topic is the weightage is inappropriate. Yeah? The midterm exam 20%. Midterm exam covers from week 1 to week 7. Tapi yang 10% quiz tu covers only maybe week 1 or week 2. So that is not fair to the students. Yeah. So OBE philosophy, the three part, curriculum design, tell them what to do, teach them how to do it, and see if they can actually do it, or see if they can actually achieve the intended learning outcome or acquire the intended learning outcome. Okay, so this is also the 3 steps OBE approach. Select the PLO or PO, program outcome, and then develop your course learning outcome. Then we have to decide on the taxonomy, domain, and level. Taxonomy domain, we have 3. We are very familiar with this, hopefully. Cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. The level, yeah. And then we design the teaching and learning methods to address this, yeah. And we also need to design the assessment tools to address the intended learning outcome. Yeah. So let's see the first one, the first component, curriculum design. We have 4 types of OOO, yeah? Program educational objectives, program learning outcome, PLO, course learning outcomes, and topic learning outcomes. Yeah? Topic learning outcomes may not be practiced by many lecturers, but I practice that for my course. Yeah. So program educational objectives. Saya tak nampak lah. I can't see the participants. What is program educational objective? Anybody? KB ketua bidang ni Mas Noh. Asyik tanya Mol, asyik tanya Dr. Shimal, asyik tanya Dr. Yani je. Anybody? I see Dr. Rudy tadi. Dr. Rudy, what is PEO, Dr. Rudy? Apa lagi saya nampak tadi? When is the PEO should be reviewed or should be kata apa? We check either it is achieved or not. When are we supposed to review the PLO? When are we supposed to review the CLO? And when are we supposed to review the TLO? Yeah. These are the different levels.
Saya cuba.
Sila. Siapa tu? Dr. Akmalia. Yang orang lama ni. Okay.
Tak. Cuba takut salah. PO tu every cycle of student lah. Contoh kita orang 4 years program. So dalam 4 years tu kita kena check balik lah PO tu.
Okay.
CLO tu every sem lah bila kita tengok result student.
So yang every cycle tu PEO ke PLO?
PEO.
PEO So what about PLO?
Alamak, PLO tak reti pula nak bantai apa.
Upon graduation.
So apa beza upon graduation? What's the difference between upon graduation and every cycle?
5 tahun kan, 3 hingga 5 tahun.
3, 5
Macam kena viva pula.
Itulah.
3 hingga 5 tahun, 3 to 5 years
PEO.
is the review kan, the
Review,
review
yeah.
of the curriculum after one cohort has graduated.
Hmm.
So the PEO, the PEO yang ni jawab, yang ni patut ganti saya ni, you should be giving the talk.
Betul saja je nak trik yang ni.
Okay, so PEO, Program Educational Objectives, few years after graduation. After graduation, it's not maksudnya if they graduate in 2020, so after 5 years they have graduated in 2025, we need to track our graduates. What are they now? Where are they now? Are they doing well? Yeah. So bukan not immediately after they have graduated, not after one cohort has graduated. It is 4 to 5 years after they have graduated, where we contact the employer who take our graduates to work with them, and we also ask our alumni. After 5 years you have graduated, you have been in the working situation ke apa ke. So what do you think of our program? Do you think we should improve? Where should we improve? Okay, so that is few years after graduation, 4 to 5 years after graduation. And PLO, this is upon graduation, one cohort, one batch. After one batch has graduated, that means if they join UMT in 2020, let's say, they graduate in 2023, 2024 and 2025, we need to review the curriculum. We need to review the program. So it is within 1 to 2 years after they graduate. This one is 4 to 5 years after they have graduated. This one is about 1 to 2 years after one batch graduate. Okay, so this one, normally we have exit survey before they graduate. Even in our program, Science Biology, we make it compulsory for the students to fill in the exit survey. If not, they cannot submit their final year project thesis. Because we need to know in this exit survey, what do you think of the program learning outcomes that you have achieved or you have acquired? Do you think your communication skills have improved? Do you think your team working skills have improved? Or do you think that your ethics and professionalism has improved? So kalau if the students, if the graduates say no, I feel the same, sama je, when I joined UMT and after I graduated in 3 years, I don't feel any difference in my communication skill. So if our students said that, we have to review our curriculum and we have to enhance the communication skill, how many courses should address communication skill, because our graduates feel that they don't feel any difference in this particular learning outcome. So itu PLO. CLO, course learning outcome, this is upon course completion. That means every semester. That's why now we have CQI every semester. So our TLO, topic learning outcomes, this is upon topic completion during the semester. During the semester, I use this so that students are guided on certain topics. So they know in this topic, I should know this. So they are guided, they know what to concentrate, they know what will be assessed. So it is very encouraged, or it is advisable for us, the lecturers, to practice topic learning outcomes, TLO. Any questions on that? Ada? Okay, kalau tak ada, let me continue. Last time we have MQA 1.0, which has 8 domains, 8 domains. And what we use or we follow is the PLO, Program Learning Outcome, as outlined by Ministry of Higher Education. So we use 9 PLO last time. We did not follow MQA 1.0 exactly, but actually what we have here, nine PLO here are all there in this 8 domain. For example, here communication, leadership, and team skills. There are actually 3 different learning outcomes in one domain. So if we map our MOHI to MQA 1.0 learning domains, we address all the learning outcomes in here. So there is no issue with MQA, even though we use the MOHI learning domains. So, and I hope by now all lecturers are familiar already with MQF 2.0. MQF 2.0. I have presented this in my series of briefings, series of taklimat in the faculty September last year. So what are the changes made in MQF 2.0? If before this in MQF 1.0 we have 8 learning domain, LOD. In 2.0 we have 5 clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters. But even though we only have 5 clusters, LOC, the learning outcomes that are formally in the 8 learning outcome domains are still there. So these 5 clusters, we actually have 11 LO, where we have new one, this one, digital skill and numeracy skill. So the 9 PLOs that we have previously are still there. Knowledge, this is critical thinking. Now it is called cognitive skill. We still have PLO 2 here. We have PLO 5, PLO 4, PLO 9, PLO 7, PLO 8, and PLO 6. So we still address all the PLO, and we now add in another 2 as PLO 10 and PLO 11. So digital skill becomes our PLO 10 and numeracy skill becomes our PLO 11. So we still follow the sequence by Ministry of Higher Education. We still maintain that, because we are already familiar with that. Okay, so that's the difference. So it is only the additional 2 skills, 2 learning outcomes, and some changes in names. Last time we have knowledge, now it is knowledge and understanding. Last time is CTPS, now it becomes cognitive skill, not critical thinking and problem solving anymore. Team working, social responsibility becomes interpersonal skills. Lifelong learning becomes personal skill. Entrepreneurship is still the same. And leadership also it becomes a bit lengthy. Yeah, last time it's only leadership, now it's leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. So basically, we still have the 9 remaining PLOs, and we add another 2 new PLO. Okay, so the first part of OBE, the first component, curriculum design, we select the intended PLO for our course. For example, our KB, our ketua bidang said, okay, can you offer new course, elective course? Okay, boleh, I can offer elective course. So you design the course, and then you make some thinking. Apa PLO nak address? What PLO should I address? Yeah. So we decide on what PLO is appropriate for our course. Yeah. Taking into consideration the number of students, the nature of your course, the nature of the programs. Yeah. So we select the intended PLO, and then we must present at program level. Why we must present at program level? To make sure that the each learning outcome is adequately addressed by courses of the program. Yeah. For example, if we see here, normally keusahawanan, entrepreneurship, very seldom addressed by many courses. Yeah. Kalau digital, satu saja kat sini. Okay. This is an example lah. So last time we invited one panel from UMP for science biology. He corrected us because few particular PLOs, very few courses address that. Yeah. So if we have a total like this, and in the end, 29 courses address PLO 1, then 9 courses address PLO 2, 30 courses address cognitive skill. Tapi yang ujung-ujung ni, yeah, the remaining effective domain, it becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. Yeah. Of course, we have that rule of thumb. One PLO should be addressed by 5% of the total courses offered. So normally it's two courses lah. Yeah. Cumanya, actually, when we design an academic program, we should, in the first place, decide collectively what are the graduate attributes of the program. Kita decide dulu. Yeah, we decide first. PLO mana, graduate attributes kita ni, I always cite law degree as an example. So law degree, the one of the most important PLO is communication, right? So communication is PLO number 4. By right, for law degree program, there are many courses that address PLO 4 because you want your graduates to have high communication skills. If, for example, you only have about 5 courses addressing communication skill, that means you are not addressing the actual graduate attributes of your program. Yeah. Kalau program tu, for example, ekonomi. Kalau ekonomi, Dr. Akmalia, what do you think the accountancy, Dr. Akmalia? What is the most important effective domain that should be addressed by accounting program? See, when we need to think
Kalau
alone by
audit
ourselves.
orang, if we audit, it's easy to identify lah. So
Yeah.
that's why our program need to be audited by others as well.
Okay.
Apa effective domain?
Is it keusahawanan,
No,
entrepreneurship?
it's not entrepreneurship. It's more like, I think, cognitive skill.
Cognitive skill.
Yeah, interpretation, application of accounting standards.
Do
Sorry,
you need to
effective
have,
domain soalan dia.
yeah. Do you think your program, your graduates should be highly skilled in team working?
Yes, highly skilled in team working because most of tasks were assigned in groups.
What about
Ethics and professionalism? Yes, because there are a lot of standards to be adhered to, and Companies Act, so semua mostly macam kalau tax, they have Tax Act to be complied to, so they need to ensure client adhere to that, and in addition they have code of ethics to be followed lah. So contohnya in terms of promotion, their services, it cannot be macam promote barang jualan, so there are code of ethics by MIA yang they have to follow. So yes, ethics and professionalism.
So do you agree if I say for accountancy degree program, many courses, high number of courses should address ethics and professionalism?
Even we have now hala 74, because every our cohort will dalam every 4 to 5 years, Malaysian Institute of Accountants dia akan keluarkan hala 7. So hala 7 tu is followed mainly by all public universities, and memang every 4 to 5 years we have to review our syllabus in accordance with what MIA has will introduce. So latest one hala 74, Dr. Roshaizat is in the task force, Dr. Azwadi is in the task as well, Dr. Liz as well. So what they are focusing now is embedding ethics and professionalism in many of the subjects, more in most of the subjects lah. Kalau dulu dia ada 1-2 subjek yang spesifik, business ethics contohnya, corporate governance ethics, but now embed in all courses.
So because you have like guidelines or standards, right?
Yes, macam financial accounting ada Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard, tax ada tax law. So ada a few standards to be followed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kamalia. May I ask Dr. Zainuddin? Dr. Zainuddin, are you still with us? Dr. Zainuddin?
Yes, I am here.
May I know which program are you teaching?
This time I am teaching real analysis. MTK.
You are teaching what degree program?
Bachelor degree program.
Mathematics or computer?
Mathematics. I am mathematician.
All right.
Subject.
So mathematics, So
yes,
what skill or which learning outcome do you think mathematics graduates should have the most?
To me, for graduating of the students on this subject, especially real analysis, actually this subject is more on fundamental and theoretical subject.
Okay.
Therefore, the most suitable PLO knowledge and critical thinking.
Okay. So that is for your particular subject, right? For your particular course. What about the whole degree program? The whole degree program, if the mathematics degree graduates, they graduate from the program, what is the most important skill that you think they should have if they want to work outside, if they want to be employed?
Yeah, very good question. So, to me, you know, the most of the in mathematics subject, actually we base on what we call it logic thinking. If we improve the logic thinking of the students during the time of teaching, so they can actually open the door in many areas of other areas.
Okay. So that means that is PLO 3, the cognitive skill, right?
Yes, mostly
How they can
cognitive
apply
skill.
the knowledge. All right. Okay. So
And one
likewise.
more thing. One more thing. I like it in UMT. Most of the subject actually focuses on the applied science and applied mathematics. So this theoretical science together with the applied is really making the strong foundation on critical thinking and logic thinking. But of course, I can see difference between UPM and the UMT. So UPM focuses more on theoretical science, practical science we have, but not much. Here more practical, more applied science subject we have more, and theoretical subject is less. So maybe we need to some balance between them.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Zainuddin. So I can say that this is actually the PLO for computer science. Yeah. So likewise, they have PLO 3, which is the cognitive skill, the highest number of courses addressing this PLO. Yeah. So I guess mathematics also is similar to this, right?
Yes, exactly. That's why actually PLO 1 and PLO 3 is most of the use in mathematics.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, of course, any program should not put aside the importance of the other affective domain. Yeah. If
Yes,
you
of course,
think
especially communication skills also need to improve especially in the getting the job in, for example, companies. The communication skills is actually, and actually one more thing, Doctor, which I have seen in Malaysia, in UPM also, especially in UMT, actually this communication skills actually usually students will get experience from the not finally project, the industrial training.
Okay. Yeah.
And in UMT,
yeah,
this is well organized. So I have discussed it with the students, visited the place, and really students learn this communication skills during the LI, Latihan Industry time.
Yeah. I guess almost all programs address communication skill in their LI subject. Yeah.
Yeah, communication skills actually one of the important key point on graduate students to get the job.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zainuddin. So my point here is that we actually should work this way. Decide the whole graduate attributes first. Yeah. Decide which PLO should be addressed the most. Yeah, especially now, I guess whatever degree is, we need the graduates to be highly skilled in communication, highly skilled in team working, highly skilled in leadership, highly skilled in personal skill, you know, and of course entrepreneurship. Yeah. So sometimes we overlook this. Yeah. So the way we should work is decide on this first. Not give the lecturer the autonomy to decide what PLO to address in your course. We decide here collectively, and then only we decide which course should address this PLO, this PLO, this PLO. Yeah, patutnya gitu. Not the other way around. we select the PLO first and then we present the program. Yeah. Should be the other way around. Yeah, that is my point lah. So thank you, Dr. Zainuddin. Now, Dr. Akmalia.
Thank you. Very good.
Dr. Mariam, can I ask
Ya, Dr. Umu, silakan.
regarding the entrepreneurship element, did UMT organize like or maybe call somebody to give a talk on about how can we include entrepreneurship element in the subject? No matter what subject is it, mathematics, biology, or so on. Because I think for economy or accounting, maybe it's easy to not easy, but it's possible. But for other courses like mathematics, especially in my case when I'm teaching programming, so is there any like guidance or people who already have this kind of experience maybe can give a talk? Because I can do it by myself, but I'm not sure whether the idea is okay or not. Is it really the what we call that?
Effective.
Yeah, is it really effective? The students in terms of the entrepreneurship skill. How can we make sure that they apply that knowledge in the future?
All right.
Yeah.
So to answer that, I think so far we don't have that kind of guides or talk yet, but I suggest PPBI, Cik Hadila, and also I could see Puan Suhaiti is with us as well. Can take note of that. In UMT, we rely heavily on our Teras University core course, keusahawanan, the entrepreneurship, right? But that one is general entrepreneurship. What Dr. Umu was asking just now is the entrepreneurship in that particular field area, yeah. Macam bio, we also have bio keusahawanan, bio entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship in biology. So the lecturer teaching that course, first we embed that in plant, what is the PGR, plant growth regulator course, where students need to plant the chili plant early in the semester, and then at the end of the semester when the chili the plant has produced some chili, so the students just get some and sell it to the lecturers, and to us that is already entrepreneurship. So but as Dr. Umu mentioned just now, we do not know whether that is actually entrepreneurship, the correct way to do entrepreneurship, right? Betul kan Dr. Umu kan? So I suggest to PPBI can take note of this, and I can also highlight later to PPBI lah to have this sort of training. Yeah, Cik Hadila, boleh ya Cik Hadila?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Dr.
Thank you,
Mariam.
Dr. Umu.
Yes.
Practical skill, practical skill tadi tu is also one of the domain yang debatable.
Yes.
Yeah, so for example, we do want to have students who have those practical skills, buat account kan, so practical skills, but ada banyak school of thoughts on how practical skill is assessed lah. So assessment part is the one that kiranya deter ataupun demotivate me lah to incorporate those, walaupun kita rasa ada keperluan to have practical skills.
Are you talking about the new definition of practical skill in MQF 2.0, Dr. Madya?
Yes.
Okay.
So because there are a lot of school of thought, so ada orang kata this kind of assessment is not practical skills, but it's quite important for accounting. I think mathematics pun as well, because they have to do tapi tak nampak physically that they are doing those tasks. So to resolve the inconsistencies lah, maybe that can be focused on as well.
Okay, I am invited by PPBI to give another talk on MQF 2.0 on 24th ke 25th lah, 25 I think of May, where I will explain more on the new definition of practical skill. Yeah, if before this practical skill focus on psychomotor, hands-on. Yeah, so now we have a broader definition of practical skill. Yeah, so I hope I can address that question later, Dr. Akmalia.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we go back to this one, step 2. After we have decided the PLO, then Prof Hamiza is saying something there about the rubric to measure. Yeah. Okay. Step 2, after you have decided on the PLO, then you construct the syllabus statements and decide on taxonomy levels. I will not talk too much on what is verb, what is condition, or what is standard, because we have another course specifically for this. Yeah, but the rule of thumb, when you construct syllabus statement of your course, it must have these elements. Yeah, you can have all three: verb, condition, and standard, or you can have verb and condition, or you can have verb plus standard only. But verb must be there because we need to measure. Yeah, okay, and CLO must be measurable. So the word understand, the students should be able to understand. How do you want to measure understanding? A very broad definition. So it must be measurable. It must be achievable as outlined by the course content. Yeah, jangan pula course content is very low. Course content is at lower level, the basic level, but your taxonomy level is C6, for example. Yeah, so that is not achievable by the students. Yeah, so it has to be aligned with the course content, and CLO must address the intended learning domain. This doesn't mean you have to address all three in your course. It can be either cognitive plus psychomotor, or it can be either cognitive plus affective, or it can be either psychomotor plus affective. Yeah, not necessarily to have all three in your course, in one course. Yeah, but for program, yes, program level, all three learning domains must be addressed. And we also have to decide on the taxonomy level. If you say cognitive C, what is the taxonomy level? C3, C4, C1, C2, yeah. Psychomotor is practical skill now. Level berapa? P1, P7, yeah. Affective, C1, C6. So you should know the taxonomy level for your course according to the course content outline, and also according to the what is the PLO that you want students to achieve. Yeah. So this is the three learning domains. Cognitive, we have C1 to C6. Psychomotor or practical skill, we have P1 to P7. Affective, we have A1 to A5. Yeah. I'm not going to explain in length about this. We have specific course for this. Yeah. So to ensure we choose the correct verb, we have what we call my taxo, the Excel file, Excel sheet, where you either key in the level A2, so it will give you the suggestion of the verb to use, or if you have already the verb, yeah, you can type in here. So it will give you the domain that is relevant to the verb. Okay. Please bear in mind, this is what we call suggestion. Yeah. If you have verb that is not listed in here, but you can justify clearly what is the level, what is the domain, that is okay. Yeah. Because some lecturers are very rigid, tak ada dalam my takso, not exist, does not exist in my takso, tak boleh pakai. No. You can still use other verbs that are not listed in my takso as long as you can justify it clearly. Right? And this is what I mentioned just now. We have a specific module, specific course, developing at course level. So this will explain more on the domain, yeah, on the taxonomy level, how to choose the PLO, how to choose the CLO, how to construct CLO statement, yeah, how to design the teaching and learning activities, how to design the assessments. And for those with administrative posts like ketua bidang or penyelaras program, you have planning at program level. Yeah, and this is the talk that is going to be delivered by Dr. Azhar this afternoon. Experiential learning. Okay, so sorry, Dr. Amiza, I could see the pop-up of the message in the chat box, but I could not pick it fast enough. Nanti lepas ni saya address balik whatever comments or questions in the chat box. That is the first component. Dah 11 lebih dah ni, baru first component. Okay, but the rest will not be that long. The second component is teaching and learning strategies. I would say teaching and learning strategies, we give the autonomy to the lecturers to design, as long as it addresses the intended learning outcome. Yeah, it must be clearly aligned. If you say you want the students to achieve communication skill, your teaching and learning strategies must reflect communication skill. Yeah. Kalau buat one way lecture saja, just one way lecture to the students, where is the communication skills? Where does it occur? How can students learn communication if it's only you giving the lecture? Now is pre-recorded lecture some more, right? This COVID thing. Yeah, pre-recorded lecture. So where is the communication skill there? Yeah, so it must be clearly addressing the intended learning outcome. Yeah, if you say you want to the intended learning outcome is team working, how you implement teaching and learning activities to address the team working skill? How can students be good team members during the teaching and learning activities? Yeah. How can the students be good leaders? How can they polish their skills to become good leaders during our teaching and learning activities? All right. So whatever you design the teaching and learning strategies, this teaching and learning activities, this is a must. Yeah? It must address the intended learning outcome. And of course, now we need to use interactive learning. Zaman-zaman COVID ni lagi lah ya. We are having problem in interactive learning. I have problem like we are talking to the computer seorang-seorang. We are talking alone. Tanya-tanya pun nobody answer. Yeah, like yesterday. So tanya khabar pun ada yang tak, we ask them apa khabar, how are you? Only one or two students answered. Yeah, so it's very challenging to have interactive learning. So that's why things like all the apps like Kahoot, all the technologies are very, very crucial nowadays for us to adapt, to apply, to create interactive learning, yeah? And also to create engaging engaging lesson, engaging class. Yeah. I put up my hands, angkat tangan siap-siap. Memang very challenging for lecturers at my age, yeah. But I'm trying. I just created a Padlet last week for my students to give some feedback on how to make our class more interactive, more fun, you know. And all of them said, use Kahoot, doctor, use Socrates, use quizzes. I was like, what is the Socrates? What is this quizzes? You know, I know Kahoot only. Okay, so they want interactive, and they want to be engaged in class. And like Prof Fauziah from UUM said a few weeks ago, if we want to have interactive and engaging class, if we want to students to be interactive, if we want students to be engaged, we need to provide the interactive and engaging class for them. We don't expect them to be interactive, but we don't provide the interactive platform to them. Okay. And do not forget students learning diversity. I learned about this as well from Prof Fauziah's talk a few weeks ago. I can say I am more like a visual learner. So I implement a lot of mind map on my students. Whereas not many students, there are some students who do not like mind map, yeah, because they are not visual learners. So we have to diversify our teaching and learning activities to cater our diversified students, yeah. And this one, student-centered learning, yeah. Some may have wrong impression about SEL, student-centered learning, because last time when we started off with this OBE, ICGPA, few lecturers thought just leave it to the students. Student-centered, so leave it to them. They want to do whatever they want to do. Or there was a case, the lecturer just came in, okay, this is a topic for today, this is the question, okay, I want you to solve the problem. Student-centered, do it yourself. No, that is not SEL. That is not what we mean by SEL. SEL, student-centered learning, means, is it about the students? Yeah. So it is about how they should learn. Yeah. So we need to guide them. We need to facilitate them, not leave it to them completely. Yeah. So please do not misunderstand the concept of student-centered learning. Yeah. We are the facilitator. They do the learning themselves. Yeah. But don't leave it to the students alone to solve or to study. No, that is not student-centered. All right. I see Dr. Zainuddin. Were you trying to say something, Dr. Zainuddin?
Once again, for the SEL, really this is very important. Student-centered learning. Actually, it is really important because, as you say, that if we leave it to students, everything is also not good. If we lead in too much, also not good.
Yes.
We should find the neutral point.
Yes.
And what I can see in Malaysian and, for example, you know, the UK style, because my children also studied there. Actually, in the UK style, they leave the students a lot of the loads. Even they don't lead, you know, the too much on the learning. For the, I mean, the most load is actually put on the students. In UK style, I think many of our lecturers also already got PhDs. They know this style. But here we actually lead too much students especially on mathematics, I know, you know, for solving the problem, most of the time we lead them too much. Otherwise, they cannot solve the problem.
Yeah.
So in this matter, I still have not clear picture. You know, how to be the lecturer in this situation.
Okay. I agree with you, Dr. Zainuddin. In the UK, they started this type of learning process early. A very tender age of 3, at the kindergarten, they already started this SEL. Yeah, they bring the children outside. They learn about the environment. They learn about their surroundings, and they think a lot. So when I was doing my PhD in the UK, I could also see, although the British who are doing PhD like me, they are very much younger, but they are very good in solving problems, because they have been trained that way from they were small. But in Malaysia, in Asia, because of the exam oriented system, we spoon feed the students from the very beginning. So up to the university level, they still want spoon feeding. Yeah. So that is some of the things that we need to change. And PPBI has the list of teaching and learning strategies courses that we can attend and see which one is actually suitable for our course. Yeah, Dr. Zainuddin?
Yes. So we should find actually the middle point in this SCL, right, for leading the students.
Yes.
But
yes.
I think if we leave a little bit more on load on the students, also good, but too much, of course, not good.
Yeah.
That's why
not
really I have problem.
Not suitable to our Malaysian students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Really good.
Thank you, Dr. Zainuddin. Okay. So this is the slide from Prof Fauziah UUM. Bagaimana generasi Z belajar? How generation Z studies? They becomes bored easily. They want immediate effect. They love to share their work. Yeah, they have high inquisitive mind, which I am quite I don't quite see that. Yeah, they are energetic. Yes. Yeah. If we give one way lecture, they become bored easily. They love likes, yeah, acknowledgement from their peers and maybe their lecturers, and most of them are visual learners, yeah, because they are used to all the acts and everything. Okay, so we have to address this type of learners. And for teaching delivery, we have these few modules, yeah, collaborative and cooperative learning, experiential learning this afternoon, project and community based, problem based, case study, yeah. And we also have how to use interactive e-learning, yeah, using all these Kahoot, Socrative, Padlet that I've mentioned just now. How to use all these, it looks like very basic, yeah, Google, Excel, but how to make use of this, how to use game, yeah. So all these things is important to enrich or to enhance our teaching and learning strategies, yeah. So please be alert with the emails from PPBI on these courses, so that we can attend and improve our teaching and learning strategies, right? And passion in teaching. Passion in teaching is also very important because in order for us to apply suitable teaching and learning strategies, we need to understand the student, we need to know the learner's diversity, we need to know how to engage them during learning, yeah? And we need to understand andragogy is the adult, because our students are adults trapped in adolescent body, yeah? So they are adult, but they are still adolescent somewhere. So we need to understand that as well, yeah? So please, if you see PPPI emails for modules on this, please participate, right? Okay, assessment, the third component of OBE. The same thing like teaching and learning activity must address the intended learning outcome. Very important. If you say you want to measure communication skill, please make sure your assessment is measuring communication skill. Yeah. And the rule of thumb, cognitive domain, here is written assessment. Written does not necessarily mean test and final exam only. Yeah. Written can also be assignments. Written can also be project, right? So it is not strictly for test and final exam only. Okay, because for example, cognitive domain at C6, synthesis or creative. How can you measure synthesis and creative in final exam? How can you measure creative and synthesis in test? It need to be an assignment, yeah, a project. So as long as they have a report, a written report that can be used as an assessment for cognitive domain, right? And normally for technical or psychomotor and affective domain, we use the rubric. And as the Prof. Amiza has stated just now, please make full use of this buku rubric ICGPA. It is in two versions, English and Malay. If you want to assess keusahawanan entrepreneurship, there are guidelines in there. If you want to assess leadership, there are guidelines in there, the rubric. Yeah, so it is very useful. It is very important. Yeah. So you can just Google buku rubric ICGPA. It will come out. Okay. I just Googled it last night. Okay, still there. Although the word is ICGPA, but it is actually OBE. Okay. And the last one I have mentioned just now, weightage of assessment must be proportionate to SLT spent on the content of courses. If you spend like for example, your course is 3 credits, 122 hours, and you spend 40 hours on one particular CLO, that means 1/3, right? 1/3. So that particular CLO should be assessed around 30 to 35%. Yeah? To be fair to the students. Jangan pula we spend 40 hours on that particular topic, on that particular CLO, but we only give weightage 10%. That is not fair to the students. They spend a lot of time, but yet you only give them 10%. Okay, so it must be proportionate to the SLT spent on the content of courses. This is from the buku rubric ICGPA. We can see here 120 hours. So for this particular CLO, 48 hours was spent, so 40% to measure this CLO. 36 hours, yeah, 30%. Okay, so we can see the proportion there. But also please take note, not necessarily rigid, yeah. Nak kira ni 30 out of 120, 36 hours. Must be exactly 36 hours. No, not necessarily, yeah. Can have a range as long as we can see the difference between the SLT span and the percentage of assessment. All right. What I'm quite worried is many of us use quiz as one of the assessment, and they give 10%. And when I see the SLT for quiz only 1 hour, so when I ask them how many topics are covered for this 1 hour quiz. So if you say only like 2 to 3 weeks topics, yeah, 10%, it may not be, it may not be justified. Yeah? But if you have a few quizzes that address or that is given 10%, then that is justified. All right. So the keyword is the weightage must be proportionate to the time spent by the students in the SLT. Okay. And for the course assessment, PPBI also has this courses, introduction to course assessment. We have assessment methods for cognitive domain, for psychomotor domain, for affective domain. So if PPBI issue the email alert, please, yeah, participate in this module. Okay. Alternative assessment is the assessments that relate to the real world, which we should be giving a serious note now. Prof Fauzia from UN last time, she is an expert in alternative assessments, because normally when we relate to the real world, we can make sure learning takes place. Yeah, like now I'm teaching biochemistry to crop science students. They can really see what is the relevancy of us learning biochem and how to adapt, how to relate to the crop science. Yeah, so I need to make them understand, to relate to the crop science world, how biochemistry is relevant to them. Yeah. Okay, so I have covered these three: curriculum design, teaching and learning, and also assessment. So those are the three components of OBE. However, there is another process in OBE, which is actually CQI. Yeah. After we have designed the curriculum, the PLO, CLO, we have designed the teaching learning methods, we have assessed them. Now we have to look at the data. If they don't achieve, what should we do? If they have achieved, is there any room for some more improvement? Yeah. So although it is not it's not really a component of OBE, but CQI is very important. Yeah. CQI, the improvement part, for continuous quality improvement or continual quality improvement is very important, and that is why PPAK, Pusat Pengurusan Akademik dan Kualiti, has set up another committee, which is the CQI committee, head by Prof Hamiza, to enhance the processes, yeah, of CQI in UNT. Yeah, because it is not really strongly implemented yet. Okay, so I consider this as component OBE number 4, even though it is not really the fourth component of OBE, but it is very necessary to have CQI. We have CQI at course level, which we do every semester. And we have CQI at program level. This is the curriculum review after one cohort of students have graduated. Yeah. So maybe in the year 4 or year 5, 1 to 2 years after the students, one cohort of students have graduated. Okay. So the CQI is very important for us to close the loop. After we have done the assessment, we need to do the analysis and we need to do the CQI. This course level, we have not really closed the loop yet. What more at the program level? Yeah. What more at program PEO level? So Prof. Hamiza, we are relying on you and your team to help us design a good framework for this, Prof. Hamiza. I have trust in you. I have faith in you, Prof. Hamiza. Yeah. Okay. I hope she's still with us. Prof. Hamiza, are you still with me? Yes. Okay, thank you. We have this actually. We have the processes, yeah, already approved by the Senate for CQI at course level, but it's not really implemented yet. Yeah. Okay. So how to analyze? For example, we have our module laporan LO. If you are aware, we have the analysis of the achievement by the students for each CLO. Yeah, CL1, CL2, CL3, CL4. How many are considered as competent? How many are considered as incompetent? Yeah, for that particular CLO. So we have the analysis there. And then we also have PLO level. How many are competent for? How many are competent for PLO1? How many are incompetent for PLO1? And so on. Yeah. So we have the analysis already. That's the beauty of our module laporan LO system. And we have also this graph showing how the students fare or how the students perform according to the weightage of each CLO and of the PLO. Yeah. So for this one is titik ambang. Okay, this one if the line is very far from this titik ambang, the baseline, we consider 50 marks as baseline. So your students are doing well. Okay, so we can see this one, CLO4, the students are doing well for CLO4, but not so well for CLO3 and CLO1. Yeah? For wajaran, the closer the students to the wajaran, the weightage of CLO1, let's say CLO3, let's say 40%. The closer to the wajaran, the better is your student. Yeah, the lower to the wajaran, that means your students are not achieving very well. Okay, so we have this already in our module laporan LO, and we also need to see this ulasan CQI report. If the PLO is not achieved, PLO1, CO3 is not achieved, this one is here. But if it is no, tidak, what you should suggest to improve, yeah, to make sure all students achieve the intended learning outcome. Okay, this is some of the CQI actions that I got from other university. Prof. Hamiza may need this, yeah, for guideline to create the framework. And as I have mentioned before, we have this garis panduan penambahbaikan CQI at course level. Unfortunately, it is not well implemented yet. So hopefully we will have better implementation after this. Yeah? So in this process CQI at course level, we have steps where you make the report on, you make the what is ulasan, the comments on the achievement of your CLO, PLO, and if the next lecturer is teaching the same course, that lecturer should take into account the suggestions by the previous lecturer. Yeah. Okay. So we have also modules, courses for CQI at course level and CQI at program level. I am in charge of CQI at course level, and I think also at CQI at program level. So after this, I will happily hand it over to Prof. Hamiza. Thank you, Prof. Hamiza. Okay, and so recap on components of Obe. Tell them what they should be able to do. Instruction, teaching and learning activities, and then assess them. Yeah, assess them to make sure that learning ultimately happens. One important part or one important thing in OBE is feedback. Yeah, we must return the result of the assessment in a timely manner to the students. Yeah, if we have our first test like in week 7, like this week, or right after sem break, within 2 weeks actually we should return the feedback, their results, yeah? So that they know how they perform. Yeah, if we keep it until the end of the semester, how would they know they have actually learned? Yeah, and these things still happen. I mean, the feedback in untimely manner, because at the end of the semester, after we have checked their test, their assignment, only we can see, oh, ramai tak faham rupanya. So many do not understand, so many didn't get it, but it's too late already. It's already week 40. So we are not doing justice to the students. Yeah, we cannot see either they have actually learning or they have actually achieved the intended learning outcome. So feedback is very important in OBE. Okay. So I have addressed the first and the second module outcome. Yeah, we are quite left back in CQI. Yes, I agree with that. So that's why PPAK under Prof Maizura has this special committee on CQI to strengthen CQI implementation. Yeah. So the third one is constructive alignment. I think I have actually touched on this. It is a principle used for devising teaching and learning activities and assessments that directly address the intended learning outcome. Meaning to say, if you say this is the intended learning outcome, you must design the teaching and learning activities, and you must design the assessments that are aligned to the learning outcome. Yeah, as simple as that. Yeah? But that simple concept is the heart of OBE, constructive alignment. If you say you want the students to achieve communication skill, oral communication skill, but your assessment is written test, how can you measure oral communication skill in written test, in written assignment? Yeah, lain kalau that is written communication. But if written communication, you need to see the clarity of the writing, the clarity of the idea, not the content. So the way you design the assessment and the way you measure it must be correctly aligned to the intended learning outcome. Okay, it is very quite challenging actually, because in UMT our number of students are high. Like about science biology, we have 100 students, and accountancy 200 students, I think. So it is not that easy actually to do the exact assessment, but we try our best. Okay, so these three must be constructively aligned: teaching, learning outcomes, teaching methods, and assessment methods. And this one is from Arwah Tuan Haji Nazri. Just for example, if the learning outcome is knowledge, this is the teaching and learning strategy, this is assessment strategy. So we can see the alignment there. Yeah, the alignment for each PLO. And there is no single specified style of teaching or assessment. in OBE. Yeah, we give the like I have mentioned before, we give the autonomy to the lecturers, but yeah, it must address or it must help the students to achieve the specific outcome. Yeah, so it is our role as academics to adapt into not lecturer anymore, not just lecture, but we are the instructor, we are the trainer, we are the facilitator, we are the mentor. Yeah, so our task as a lecturer has expanded. Yeah? Not just lecture. Yeah. So the constructive alignment is well reflected in our MyCA. I have shown this already before. Yeah, this one must be aligned with the teaching and learning activities and must be aligned with the assessment. So implication of improper constructive alignment, we actually have the wrong or inaccurate representation of students' achievement, right? And we achieving intended learning outcomes will be limited because the students would not be learning what is being assessed. Dia nak assess lain, ya. We want to assess other thing, but we do it the wrong way. Okay, so to have an effective curriculum, we have to really see the alignment of the intended outcomes, the teaching and learning activities, and also the assessment. Yeah, so that's why we say constructive alignment is the heart of OBE, outcome-based education. We want to achieve the outcome, teaching and learning strategy must be correct, the assessment must also be correct. Okay, and the last one is SLT. I guess many of you have already know how to calculate the SLT. SLT is the time spent, yeah, by students during teaching and learning and also during assessment. And it also involves both face-to-face lecturer and students, and also the independent learning time, non-face-to-face by the students. Yeah, not just the time that spent with the lecturers, but they spend with themselves preparing for the learning. Yeah, so if we have a number of 40 hours for SLT, that means it is equal to 1 credit. All right. So this one we have already addressed in our course syllabus. This is face-to-face, and this is non-face-to-face. And we have the bottom part of SLT for assessment, right? So SLT covers teaching and learning activities, both face-to-face and non-face-to-face, and also covers the assessment. Yeah. And this is the guideline in buku Pembangunan Program Akademik Baru by Department of Higher Education. I can remember the page number already, 23. Yeah. So every time any lecturer asks me where can I get the guide to the SLT, I said open buku Panduan Pembangunan Program Akademik Baru, page 23. Yeah. Okay. So this is also sorry, Dr. Hassan, what has to be counted in order to calculate the SLT? The teaching and learning activities, face-to-face and non-face-to-face, and also the assessment time. Assessment time also, the assessment time, they are doing the assessment and also the preparation. Yeah. For example, we have this kuliah lecture, we have 1 hour lecture. So non-face-to-face, we expect them to have 1 hour or 2 hours. 1 hour means they prepare 30 minutes before lecture and 30 minutes after lecture. or if the course is at higher level, they need 1 hour to prepare before the lecture, and they need 1 hour to prepare after the lecture, to revise after the lecture. Yeah. If we have the assessment here, pembentangan presentation, let's say we allocate 1 hour for the presentation, we need to know, we need to what do you call it, estimate how many hours the students need for the preparation. Okay, so the teaching and learning activities, here the teaching and learning activities, and here is the assessment. Okay, so it covers face-to-face, non-face-to-face. So when we count that, we get 40 hours is equal to 1 SLT. There is an exception for LI and also work-based learning. Yeah? Okay. I cannot see. I'm sorry. I cannot catch the. Okay, I will address all the questions after this. Yeah. Okay, this is from Haji Nazri. The older version, but it is still applicable. Yeah. So I guess I have covered all 4 module outcomes. So before I end this talk, let's reflect. Why do we do OBE actually? Why do really we want to really consider what the students should learn? Yeah. Is it because we do not want to be fined by MQA? We said we do OBE, but actually we did not implement POL. Okay, we did not do any aligned assessment, any aligned teaching and learning. If we do that, we are actually eligible to be fined not exceeding 20,000 ringgit, 20,000 ringgit, yeah, or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or both. So it is a serious offense if we say on the paper we do OBE, but actually we did not implement it. Okay, but I know our fellow lecturer, Dr. Shahriza, he doesn't like to highlight this because we do not want lecturers to do OBE because because of the Act 679, 679, because of the fine, no. Yeah. And we do it because of we need to comply with national acts and strategic plans. We need to this is 479, because of the MQA Act or because of the strategic plan of the national higher education, or because of the Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Tinggi Negara, yeah, higher education development plan. Yeah. So is it because we need to comply with the plans? Yeah. Or is it because we want to comply with the PSPTN? Yeah. Where in this PSPTN it says memberi penekanan, giving emphasis on OBE. Yeah. This is Plan Malaysian Education Blueprint. Is it because we want to comply to this? Because we want to produce students with this holistic attributes according to the Malaysian Education Blueprint? Or why do you think actually we do OBE? Why the transformation in delivering the education is needed, very much needed now, and how does it got to do with the generation of our current students? Can someone share? Why do you think it's important for us to have this OBE thing, taking into account the generation of our current students? Are they that bad? Sampai kena buat OBE? They cannot survive like we do or we did. Last time, the lecturers just, you know, I give you the lecture. I still remember bringing the textbook to the lecture hall because the lecturer did not share any notes. Yeah? He just talk, and you have to jot down the notes and see the textbook kat mana, where is it, which topic he's talking. Yeah? Why can't the current generation survive if we do the same to them like we were treated last time? Macam mana? Can someone share an idea? Kenapa? Why? Malaysia is very much into this OBE thing. Actually, when I went to the USA, Purdue University with Prof. Hamisa and Prof. Maizura back in 2018, if we mention OBE, they are what? OBE? They are not familiar with the term OBE. But when we see their curriculum, their assessment, they have been doing OBE all this while, all these years. They have been doing that. It's just that they don't call it as OBE. Even in Australia, the delegates came in 2016 for our teaching and learning conference. When I mentioned OBE, they said, what is OBE? But when we look at what they are doing, they are actually implementing OBE. So why is it so important, OBE now? Yes, Dr. Zainuddin?
Doctor, I consider OBE as a mapping, one-to-one mapping.
One-to-one mapping with,
actually in mathematics we use a mapping. If mapping is one-to-one, so we can find the inverse. So that's why the OBE is actually, to me, it is a leading or leading the teaching and learning students. And of course, there should be some inverse transformation. So at the end, the outcome is actually the second inverse transformation. So if outcome is good, so then the transformation is good. So I think that's why this OBE is really good to lead the students and get the outcome better. This type of transformation is needed. We call it OBE or any name. So that's why every university must use such kind of system.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zainuddin. Why do you think we need to transform the students? Why do you think they need to be good with the outcome so that they can transform? Why do you think?
Actually, what can I say? As I say that if we consider this one is a one-to-one mapping, so means that after teaching and leading the students, outcome should be correspond to the transformation.
I guess your response is quite mathematical for me. Okay. Thanks anyway, Dr. Zainuddin.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just my point. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So actually, OBE is for the sake of our future generation. This is our lectures then. Maybe not to some of you, the young ones, the young lecturers, but to me, this is how I had my lecture last time in a very large hall with the OHP and the transparency, you know. But many survive. We have skillful graduates. We now become lecturers. We have good life, good income. But lectures now, the lecturer is teaching in the front, but students are busy with their handphone. Some survive, many unskillful graduates. So since 2000, 20, 20 years ago, they have made some surveys, and they could see that the graduates, more graduates are jobless because they are lack in critical skills. Yeah, they are, because of this type of generation, they are very technology savvy. They are always with their handphones. They are always with their tablets. They are always with their computer. They lack this communication skill. They lack this teamworking skill. They lack this leadership skill. Yeah. So that's why our education is outcome based, and the outcomes are all these important skills. Yeah. We may give them PLO1 and PLO2 and PLO3, but without PLO4 to PLO9 or 11 or up to 11, they may not survive. Yeah, they may not survive. So that's why the outcome-based education for Malaysia, the outcome that we design is based on what the employers need now. Okay, how they can survive. Because I have always told my friends who are worried to what programs should I ask my daughters or my sons to apply. Now UPU kan baru ni kan, the unit apa ni, pemilihan universiti, is it? So I told them, they said if my daughter to take this course, what she will be, can she get a job after that? So I told my friends, this is an era where jobs in specific field is very limited. Yeah. So if your sons or daughters have all those skills, communication skills, teamworking skills, leadership skills, entrepreneurship skill, whatever degree she or he takes, whatever degree she or he graduated from, she will or he will survive in the outside world, inshallah. Yeah?
Yes.
So that's what
Inshallah.
I always emphasize to my friends who ask me. Yeah? So that is why I write here, kita mahu membina negara bangsa. We are doing OBE because we want to develop our own nation that have all these learners, not only with increased knowledge, but with developed skills, yeah, influencing attitudes, values, and judgment. There are so many students who are very good academically, but they cannot survive in the outside world because they are lack of these critical skills. I've seen many cases, our good students, first class honors students, many did not get any good job because they are lacking in this very important skill. Yeah. So we need, by hook or by crook, we like it or not, we need to do OBE because it is all about human being. We have to help them not just with the knowledge, the cognitive domain, but we also need to help them with the psychomotor or practical skill. And this now is the important part, the affective domain. Yeah? The affective domain. So I would end my presentation with saying that OBE is not about us, but it is about them, about the students. These are UMP students at Bidong Island. Yeah, they are having team working enhancement process here. Yeah, here it's also team working. This is also confidence level. All these things can be achieved if we really implement outcome-based education. We teach them based on the outcome, we assess them based on the outcome. Okay, so that is OBE, and these are some of my references. The slides will be shared by PPBI, yeah. And let me stop my sharing to look at the question. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Prof.
Dr. Zainidin, if you have a question.
Actually, how do you think for the future of OBE PLO? For a long time, the only 9 PLO was in the implementation. Then from last year, another 2 more, the new PLO added. So now total is 11. So
Yeah.
it will be increased in the future, or this 11 can cover all the aspects and no need to develop anymore.
What do you think, Dr. Zainidin? You yourself think?
To me, too much developing is also not good.
Yeah.
Need to stop at certain level. Otherwise, you see, even 11, some of them, few subject can relate to the PLO. Most of the PLO we don't use in our teaching. So I don't think so too much need to develop in the future. I don't know. This is my opinion. What about doing?
Okay. For your information, the additional 2 PLOs was done after 10 years of the first 9 PLO. So within that 10 years, MQA take a look at the current development, the current scenario, what are the current skills needed by the graduates, what are the employers looking for. Yeah, so it took them 10 years. Not we don't simply add, you know. So I could foresee in another 10 years, if there is rapid changes in the skills needed by the employers, then we need to change accordingly. Yeah, I understand your worry that we may not be able to address all PLOs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That is why we delegate the PLOs to be addressed by the lecturers of the program. Not everybody. Yeah. We understand. I have this question as well last time. We do this OBE in our class. Actually, she or he does not see any significant contribution because we are doing it in class. Okay. They argued that all these skills should be achieved, should be attained by the students from the extracurricular activity.
Yes, exactly.
From the activities with the clubs, with the persatuan, all those things, not in class. Yeah. Okay. Now we have COVID. Our teaching are all online.
Yes.
All the students' activities are stopped. So if we don't help them to acquire at least, even though a small portion of this skill, how can the students be transformed? So I told the lecturers, at least we do our part in OBE, in this outcome that is assigned to us for our course. Even though we see it as small, it can become the, what do you call it, the trigger. Yeah, if student is inspired by us, for example, the leadership in us or the ethics in us, yeah, so they will try to improve themselves outside the class. But if we totally do not address this, we don't help the students in class, how can they get the initial exposure? Yeah? So we try as much as possible to do our part in helping them acquire the skills needed, and we hope that they will polish it outside the class during the activities. Yeah. For example, kesukarelawanan. What is kesukarelawanan? Volunteerism. We don't address volunteerism in our learning outcome, right?
Yes, Karim.
How can we initiate? How can we trigger? How can we make them feel that social responsibility is very important? Social responsibility is PLO 5. Yeah, personal skill. So if they can think that, oh, I must be a very responsible member of the society. So outside they join the volunteerism project. So at least we do our part, even though it's only a small portion. That's what I see it, yeah. Rather than we don't do it at all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Okay. Dr. Hassan asked Dr. Mariam, compared to other public universities in Malaysia, is UMT considered as left behind in terms of CQI implementation? I think I have answered just now. The answer is yes, Dr. Hassan. Especially compared to universities, MTON. MTON is the technology university like UMP, UTHM, UNIMAP, yeah, because all these engineering-based universities, they must have this CQI thing implemented well, yeah. But I trust Dr. Amiza and team to help us with the framework to have better CQI implementation. Dr. Hassan also asked, for non-F2F learning time, what has to be fulfilled in order to be counted as SLT? I think I have shown you the guideline, kan, Dr. Hassan? It is the same like whatever teaching and learning activities, whatever assessment you have, there is non-face-to-face learning time. Okay. Dr. Maharani, I'm sorry, Dr. Mariam, I thought, okay. Okay. Okay, Dr. Zainuddin asked for the presentation file. Yes, the Cik Hadila shared it already. Dr. Syahrizan, salam doktor. Waalaikumsalam. Boleh jelaskan sikit berkenaan kredit subjek? 2 plus 2, saya faham untuk kelas 2 jam per minggu. Cuma saya tak faham kenaan lab. Okay. Okay, Dr. Syahrizan, ya. Actually, in OBE, there is no 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 1 or 1 plus 2 whatsoever. There is only one solid credit. The one in the bracket 2 plus 2 is actually for the purpose of the university to allocate laboratory time or tutorial time, for example. Yeah. So to say for 2 times 2, 2 hours per week, that is not that correct. Yeah? You can have, and some people say we must have 14 weeks of lecture. No. If you, for your course, in order to achieve the learning outcome, you only need to give lectures for 10 weeks, then have it in 10 weeks. Not necessary to have it in 14 weeks. Yeah. So the one in the bracket is just for the purpose of allocating the bilik kuliah, allocating the lab space. Yeah. Tapi kredit dia tu, that gives for credit means 160 hours, right? That 160 hours is the total of everything. If you have class for 10 weeks, that means 2 times 10, 20 hours only face-to-face. Yeah, not necessarily up to 40. And you can cover that another 4 weeks with another teaching and learning activities where we count the face-to-face and then non-face-to-face. Okay, so adakah lab perlu 2 kali seminggu? Tidak. Ya. Cuma kalau you letak for, when you put 2 plus 2, what do you mean by 2 actually? You mean 2 hours? Or you mean 2 times a week? Kalau ikut sistem UMT, if you put 2 times 2, that means you need the lab 2 times a week. For the purpose of allocating the lab space. Yeah? Boleh ke Dr. Shariza? You can have more details in our module developing at course level. Yeah? How to calculate the SLT. Alright? Oh, sebab ada penilai komen begini untuk MTF. Dia komen macam mana tu? Kalau letak 2 plus 2, that means you have to two times per week. Dia kalau ikut sistem booking bilik kuliah atau sistem booking lab, yes. Kalau you letak plus 2, that means you need to do lab 2 kali seminggu. Tapi kalau you tak perlukan lab 2 kali seminggu, then you don't put 2 plus 2. Boleh ke? Yang letak 2 plus 2 tu sebab apa sebenarnya? Sebab 2 jam kuliah je nak seminggu. Oh, memang dari dulu kredit begini. Okey. Okey, so sekarang dalam semakan kurikulum ni, silalah ubah ya, mengikut keperluan khusus. Jangan takut untuk ubah. Anggapkan kami yang dulu-dulu ni pun tak berapa nak faham. Ya? Biasakan yang betul-betul, betulkan yang biasa, biasakan yang betul. So you know yourself, you can design your course, how many hours per week you want your lecture to be, to cover all the course content. Yeah? You yang design. Alright. So I guess I have covered everything. I have answered all the Q&A. If there is any more questions,
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Yang. Boleh tanya ke?
Waalaikumsalam. Ya, boleh.
Okey, so saya nak tanya berkaitan dengan PLO 8, entrepreneurship kan? Okey, so kita punya domain adalah efektif dan kalau ikutkan rubrik PNJK bersepadu panduan ni yang saya ada ni, yang share dekat link tu, kita ada kemahiran mengurus dan keusahawanan kan. Maksudnya boleh tak kita guna salah satu sahaja daripada 3 atribut ni. Kalau 3 atribut dekat sini ada pengurusan, minda keusahawanan dengan kemahiran keusahawanan.
Jawapannya
Boleh ke maksudnya?
Jawapannya boleh. Jawapannya
Oh, boleh lah kan
Boleh.
Maksudnya walaupun pengurusan tu tak merujuk kepada specifically kepada entrepreneurship kan?
Dia entrepreneurship ni, under entrepreneurship ada management of entrepreneurship tu dengan the entrepreneurship itself. Management of entrepreneurship tu macam ada mindset, macam sekadar nak buat proposal ke, ataupun you can suggest, it's not like asas keusahawanan trust program tu. Yang tu kan memang dia orang kena buat real business proposal. Lepas tu kalau dulu ada siap menjual, Tapi kalau at our course, we think it is sufficient to help them to get this mindset, entrepreneurship mindset, that is enough. So kita pilih lah, we choose the attributes that is relevant to what we want them to achieve. Tak semua. Selalunya kalau macam saya pun, for my biochemistry course, untuk macam contohnya team working, team working, PLO 5, I look at the buku rubrik, ICGPA, and then I only choose 2 attributes. Bukan semua dalam tu. I only choose 2 attributes that I am sure I can measure. So sebab yang UMP dulu pun dia ada buat macam 2 jugalah. So make sure jangan sampai kita terbeban. We are burdened to measure something that we cannot measure.
Maksudnya kalau ada 3 atribut, salah satu pun memadai lah kan. Contohnya managerial sahaja untuk cover domain efektif bagi PLO 8.
Boleh.
Okay. Itu je. Terima kasih Dr. Mariam.
Sama-sama. Any more question? You can also ask Prof Amiza. She can help me answer. Okay, if there is no question, so I would like to thank everyone for participating. I hope I have made it clear what is OBE and why we need to do OBE. And if you see the hebahan, the poster by PPBI, the last objective is untuk mencetuskan cebisan rasa soul of OBE. So I hope I have been able to deliver that, to make you feel that I need to do OBE for the sake of the students. It is about the students and it is not about me as the lecturer. Right? So thank you very much everyone. Hopefully Allah Ta'ala will help us to go through this, for the sake of our nation and our students, inshallah. Okay. Thank you very much again. Thank you very much, Cik Hadila. Over to you. And sorry if I have made any wrong statements or I have said something wrong. Thank you everyone. Sorry for everything. Okay, Cik La.
Okay, terima kasih Doktor di atas perkongsian berkenaan dengan introduction to OBE. Terima kasih juga kepada peserta yang hadir pada hari ini. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.